Welcome, Lecture 5, Module 3, Quantum Mechanics. So today we will discuss about Compton effect. So what is Compton effect? When a monochromatic beam of high frequency radiation, example X-ray and gamma ray, is scattered by a substance, the scattered radiation contains two types of wavelength, one having same wavelength, unmodified radiation, and that of incident radiation, while the other having wavelength greater modified than the incident radiation. This effect is known as Compton effect. Now derive a expression for Compton shift and Compton effect. Consider incident photon whose wavelength is lambda I is incident on electron which is at rest, whose rest mass is m naught. Before collision conditions, the energy of incident photon E equal to h nu I, momentum of incident photon P equal to h nu I upon C, energy of electron at rest, that is Einstein, from Einstein, m naught c square, and momentum is 0 because it is at rest. When photon is strike to the rest electron, it gives some part of its energy to electron, and electron recoil in some direction theta, and photon scattered in direction phi. Then after scattering or after collision, energy of scattered photon, suppose its change wavelength is lambda f. So energy of scattered photon is equal to h nu f. Momentum of scattered photon P equal to h nu f upon c. Momentum gains some energy and attain a velocity v. Then its mass changes from m naught to m. Then its energy is equal to mc square. From variation of mass we calculate m. And momentum of an recoiled electron is p equal to mv. Now this is a little demonstration of this collision or Compton effect. This photon come and strike to rest electron before collision. This is condition of photon and this is the condition of electron, rest electron, equal to m naught c square, energy of electron, and momentum is 0. And this is the condition of photon, equal to h nu I and p equal to h nu I upon c. After collision, it gives some energy and electron recoil in direction theta and photon is scattered in direction phi. This is the condition after collision. Now we have two conditions, before collision and after collision. So we apply the conservation of energy and conservation of momentum before and after collision. Before collision, the energy of photon is h nu, energy of electron is m naught c square, equal to energy of photon plus energy of electron after collision. For momentum, we divide momentum because before collision momentum is in along incident photon direction, but after scattering momentum is in two direction. One component is in horizontal direction, one component is vertical direction. So we divide momentum component in two parts, horizontal and vertical, and apply the conservation of momentum in two direction, along the incident photon and perpendicular to incident photon. Okay, for let's see how we divide our components of momentum, because this is the momentum of photon. So along this direction momentum is h nu f upon c cos phi. And in perpendicular direction, momentum is h nu f upon c sin phi. Similarly, we break the component of momentum of electron along and perpendicular direction. So in this direction, momentum is mv cos theta, and in this direction, mv sin theta. Okay, so before collision, momentum is only along in direction of incident photon, and after collision, momentum have two direction, along incident photon and perpendicular to incident photon. So conservation law apply in two directions. Now drive expression for Compton shift. If v is the velocity of recoiled electron, then its relativistic mass equal to m equal to m naught upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. Now according to principle of conservation of energy, so energy of the system before collision equal to energy of system after collision. So if you remember this diagram which I show in last slide, um, energy before collision for photon is h nu I and for electron is m naught c square, and after collision the energy of photon is h nu final upon mc square of electron. So we have equation 1, h nu I plus m naught c square equal to h nu f plus mc square, equation 1. Now if you remember this diagram, then clearly shows that in vertical direction we have only momentum for scattered photon and recoil electron. Okay, so apply the conservation of momentum along and perpendicular direction of incident photon. In perpendicular direction, incident photon have no momentum because the momentum is along the incident direction. So before collision, energy of photon is zero, and because electron is at rest, it is the momentum of electron is also zero. And in perpendicular direction, these two momentums are opposite, in opposite direction. These two, for photon and for electron, both are in opposite directions. So we take a opposite sign, h nu final upon c sin phi minus mv sin theta, equation 2. Similarly, apply the conservation of law of momentum along the direction. In along the direction, photon have momentum h nu I upon c, and electron, because it is rest, is momentum is 0. H nu final upon c, both have same direction, electron and momentum. Along the direction, they both have same direction. So h nu f upon c cos phi plus mv cos theta. These components have same direction. We solve equation 2 and 3 and rearrange this equation like mv sin theta equal to h nu f upon c sin phi and mv cos theta h nu I upon c minus h nu f upon c cos phi. We want to remove this theta. So how we remove this theta? We square these two equations and add them. So squaring and adding of equation 4 and 3, the sin square theta and cos square theta become 1. And here how we square these equations? Square this, and this is a minus b whole square, and we open the a minus b whole square. So h square upon c square nu f sin square phi. This equation become h nu I, h square nu I square upon c square plus h square nu f square upon c square cos square phi minus 2h h nu I nu f upon c into c cos phi. So, okay, so take a h square upon c square common. This term remain inside the bracket. From here, this term become 1. So m square v square equal to h square upon c square. In this side, this and this also give, we take nu f square common, sin square phi and cos square phi. This term also gives the equation equal to 1 plus nu I square minus 2 nu I nu f cos phi, or this c square also take in left side. So equation 6 is become m square v square c square equal to h square nu f square plus nu I square minus 2 nu I nu f cos phi. Similarly, from equation 1 we can write mc square equal to h nu I minus nu f plus m naught c square. Square this equation. So mc square equal to m square c to power 4 plus, now similarly this term take as a plus b to whole square. First we have to open a square, then b square minus 2ab plus 2ab. So h square nu I square plus nu f square minus 2 nu I nu f for this term plus m square c to power 4 for this term plus 2 h nu I minus nu f m naught c square for this term. Equation 7. We have to subtract from equation 6 from 7. So from 7 minus 6, m square c to power 4 minus m square v nu square c square equal to h square. First we write this whole term minus then this term h square nu f square plus nu I square minus 2 nu I nu f cos phi. Now see this equation carefully and which term cancel out. So cancel that term. So if you see this equation clearly shows that this term is cancel out. H square is multiply inside the bracket. Obviously this term, both these two terms is cancel out. So next equation become m square c to power 4 minus m square v square c to power c square equal to, now this term and this term can be written as this h square 2 nu I nu f cos phi minus 1 m naught square c to power 4 plus 2 m naught c square nu I minus nu f. This equation. Now 4 is common in left side. So remaining term is 1 minus v square upon c square. H nu square 2 nu I nu f cos phi minus 1 plus m naught square c to power 4 plus 2h m naught c square nu I minus nu f. From variation of mass, m equal to m naught upon under root 1 minus v square upon c square. This term is take left side. M under root 1 minus v square upon c square equal to m naught square. Squaring this equation, then this term become m square 1 minus v square upon c square equal to m naught square. Okay, this term can be written as m square 1 minus v square upon c square equal to m naught c square. So in this term and this term becomes m naught square. So m naught square c to power 4 h nu square 2 nu I nu f cos phi minus 1 plus m naught square c to power 4 plus 2 h m naught c square nu I minus nu f. If you see this term is cancelled out, and we take this term in left side, or this equation can be written as 2 h m naught c square nu I minus nu f equal to minus h square 2 nu I nu f cos phi minus 1. This minus is also taken inside. Then this equation can be written as 2 h m naught c square nu I minus nu f equal to h square 2 nu I nu f 1 minus cos phi. Or you can see this 2 is cancelled, h power is cancelled out, and this term take inside this below this. So this equation can be written as nu I minus nu f upon nu I nu f into c h upon m naught c 1 minus cos phi. Or we can say c upon nu f minus c upon nu I equal to h upon m naught c 1 minus cos phi. This is lambda f, this is lambda I, or this equation is lambda f minus lambda I equal to h upon m naught c 1 minus cos phi. This is the expression for Compton shift. This is change in wavelength. This is final wavelength and this is initial wavelength. So change in wavelength, delta lambda equal to h upon m naught c 1 minus cos phi. You clearly see from this equation, h is constant, Planck constant, m naught rest mass of electron is also constant, c's velocity of light is also constant. So change in wavelength is depend on the angle of scattering photon, phi. So expression of wavelength is called Compton shift. Hence, it is clear from the above expression, the change in wavelength is independent of wavelength of incident photon and depend on the angle of scattering phi and mass of scatter. If we change the mass of scattered, like if we change electron to some other particle, then expression will change. For electron, it is constant. Now from equation 10, lambda final of scattered photon is greater than lambda initial, so wavelength increase. If wavelength increase, means frequencies decrease after scattering. When phi is equal to 0, then delta lambda equal to 0. That is Compton shift is 0. If incident photon travel in same direction in which it incident along in same direction, incidence direction, then Compton shift is 0. Means no scattering along the direction of incident radiation. When phi equal to pi by 2, if scattered photon is scattered in 90 degree, then delta lambda equal to h upon m naught c, because cos phi equal to 0 for pi by 2. Then value of h is 6.6 into 3 into 10 to the power minus 34. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. If we calculate this, the term comes out 0.0242 angstrom. The quantity h upon m naught c is called Compton wavelength and denoted by lambda c. This term is known as Compton wavelength. It is constant quantity. If pi equal to pi, in which if written back, if photon is written back in the direction from which it comes, then delta lambda equal to 2h upon m naught c, because cos phi equal to 1. So this term is twice of Compton shift. Because h upon m naught c already we calculate in this term, so twice is 0.0484 angstrom. Maximum shift or maximum value, hence the angle of scattering phi varies from 0 to 180. The angle of scattered photon varies from lambda I to lambda I plus 2 h m naught c. So here we already calculate a Compton shift. In next lecture, we continue this lecture of Compton effect. We derive the expression for kinetic energy of electron and direction of recoiled electron. So here we end this lecture and continue this lecture in next video. Thank you.